Today we are going to study the following topics of the chapter Physical Quantities and Measurement. We are going to study using meter rod. We are going to study about how to measure diameter of a sphere. We will learn measuring diameter of wire. We will learn how to use measuring tape, then measuring area, and we will learn how to measure area of regular surfaces. So our first topic is using a meter ruler or rod to measure length. So all of you must have seen ruler at home or meter rod. These are longer than the scale which we use in our home. So here are some features of this meter ruler or rod. To measure straight objects we use ruler. So if we want to measure length of straight object, then only we can use ruler. But suppose if our object is not straight, suppose it is curved, then in that case we will it will not be very easy to measure the length of that object using this ruler or meter rod. The smallest marking on a ruler is 1 millimeter. We all of must have seen in a ruler that the smallest marking on a ruler is 1 millimeter. Then a meter rod is 1 meter long and is divided into 100 divisions of 1 centimeter each, and each centimeter is further divided into 10 millimeters. So a meter rod is longer than this normal scale which we use in our home, and this you must have seen this meter rod being used by in any shop by your tailors and all. Now here are some rules which one should follow while measuring the length of any object by the help of ruler. So place the ruler along the length to be measured. Make sure that the zero mark of the ruler coincides with one end to be measured. So we should practice to put the zero at one end of the object, and then how long that scale takes to measure the object, that can be measured. Then sometimes it happens that zero mark is invisible, or suppose if your scale have got broken, in that case we can take initial reading as any other digit. Suppose we take the initial reading as 1, and then the final reading, suppose I get 15 or suppose if I get 10, then we have to subtract the initial reading from the final reading. So hope you understand what is this. So suppose if the length of your object is, if you get 15 centimeter, but if you started measuring it from 1, then we have to subtract that 1 from 15. So our final reading will be 15 minus 1, that is 14 centimeter. Then we have one more very important point, that is correct position of eye is very important. Here in this picture you can see there are 3 position of eye. One is seeing from this side, that is in a slanting position. Another person is seeing from this side, and this is the correct position from a straight line. Means whenever you are seeing or whenever you are taking measurement of any object, you should try to put your eye at the correct position, and this is the correct position of putting eye, because you can see that if a person sees slantingly from this position, he is getting 4.9 centimeter as the reading of on scale, and this side the person is seeing 4.7 centimeter, but the actual reading is 4.8 centimeter. So this kind of error means if a person gets a reading by putting his eye in a slanting position, then that kind of an error will be generated over here, because you will not get the correct result, and such error is called as parallax error. So one should always make a point to put the eye in correct position while taking any measurement, and this you should always keep in mind whenever you will do any physics experiment in lab. Then our next experiment is how to measure diameter of a sphere. So how we will measure the diameter of sphere? This is also a very important experiment. Here you can see that we have 2 blocks of wood and there is a sphere. Suppose you want to take diameter of a ball which is sphere in shape. So what we will do? We will place the ball on the scale. Here you can see a ball is placed on the scale, and both the side of the ball we will put the wooden blocks, and we will have to keep in mind that both the blocks should touch the surface of the sphere or the surface of the ball. As you can see in this picture that both these blocks are touching this sphere. Now you find the initial reading. From this side we find the initial reading as 2 centimeter, and here the final reading is at 4 centimeter. So what is the diameter of the ball? The diameter of the ball will be 4 minus 2, that is equal to 2 centimeter. So this is how we can measure the diameter of a sphere. Then here we have another experiment, that is how to measure diameter of a wire. For this experiment we need three things. We need a wire, we need a pencil, and we need a scale. Now you must have seen a wire in your home. This wire, they are very thin, and it will be very difficult to, if anybody asks you to measure diameter of a wire using scale. So this is an experiment. So what we will do, we will wind this wire in a pencil. As you can see that this wire has been wind up in a pencil, and then you have to take two things. You will have to take two measurement. First thing is that you will take the total length of the turns of wire, means how many times you have taken the turns of the wire. Now to take the length of the turns of wire, two points which you should keep in mind. One is that there should not be any gap when you are winding that wire in a pencil. So first is that there should be no gap, and second one is that there should be no overlapping, means you must not do one upon another. So whenever you are winding this wire, it should not overlap, and there should not be any gap between the wires whenever you are winding that wire. So these two important things you will have to keep in mind, otherwise you will get a wrong reading. As here you can see that there is no gap between the wire wrapping when it is wind up, and there is no overlapping also, means one, it is not there, you can't see that one is upon another. So to find the diameter of wire, what we will do, we have to take total length of the turns of wire, means how many times this total length you will find out. So here you can see the length is around 8 millimeter. You can see that this is around 8 millimeter, the rounds are there. And then number of turns of wire, means how many times you have taken the turns. So suppose if you have taken 100 turns, so what will be the diameter of wire? That will be 8 millimeter divided by 100. So that will be around 0.08 millimeter. So this is how we can find out diameter of a wire. Now our next topic is using a measuring tape to measure length. This is a measuring tape. You must have seen this measuring tape, must be having at home, or if whenever you go to give your measurement to tailor, so your tailor uses this measuring tape. So here are some features of measuring tape. Measuring tape is used to measure long length. It is flexible ruler made of a ribbon of cloth, plastic or metal strip. You must have seen that these are very flexible. Wherever you want, if you want to make a round, you can make a round. If you want to make a means length also, you can very easily stretch. So these are very flexible. It can be easily carried in a pocket. Yes, we can fold it and keep it in our pocket, and can be used to measure round curves or corners of objects. So these are very flexible in nature. It is available in various lengths such as 1 meter, 2 meter, 5 meter. So various length it is available, and then these are mostly used by tailors, surveyors to measure length. Then our next topic is measuring area. So we have finished how to measure length, and we have covered some topics related to length. Now our next topic is measuring area. Now first of all, what is area? Area is, it can be defined as the space occupied by a two-dimensional figure on a plane. This is called as area of that object. And for measuring area of an object, we need measurement of its length, breadth, etc. You must be knowing that suppose if you want to find out area of a square, so area of a square, that is side square, or area of a rectangle is length into breadth. So to measure area, we need several other quantities. That is why area is a derived quantity. Before I have taught you what is fundamental quantity and what is derived quantity. So derived quantity, these are those quantity which depend on fundamental quantity. So here you can see that area is dependent on fundamental quantities, that is length, breadth, etc. So and here we have an important point, that SI unit of area is meter square, or this is also read as square meter. Now one example is given. If you have to find out area of square, so that is equal to side square, and side is measured in meter into meter, so that is equal to meter square. Now depending upon the size of area which you are measuring, we have here several units. Like suppose if you want to measure 1 kilometer square, means depending upon the distance or the size of that, we will take the units. Like here we have several units, you can see here kilometer is there, then hectare is there, then centimeter is there, then millimeter, then meter is there. So all this unit and conversion, you should know what does this mean, that what is 1 hectare and then what is 1 kilometer, all this should be known to you. And here we in this table you can see the relationship between all this, like 1 kilometer square, what is that? That is equal to 1 kilometer into 1 kilometer. So that is equal to 1000 meter into 1000 meter. So when finally we calculate, that will be equal to 10 to the power of 6 meter square. Similarly, what is 1 hectare? 1 hectare is equal to 100 meter into 100 meter, and so that is equal to 10 to the power of 4 meter square. And similarly we have for centimeter squares and meter square. Now our next topic is measuring area of regular surface. Here we are having some regular surface, and we should know the formula of finding the area of this surface is. Like here we have a square. All of you know what is the formula to find area of a square, that is side into side. Then we have a rectangle. What is the formula to find area of a rectangle? That is length into breadth. It's length into breadth. This is the length, and this side is breadth. Then we have how to find area of a triangle. So its formula is half base into height. This is your base, and here when we'll draw the perpendicular, we will get the height of this rectangle. And then what is the area of a square? Area of square is pi r square. So these are some regular surfaces whose area we should know, whose formula we should know to find the area. Then here we have an experiment, how to find area of a regular object using graph paper. Now what is regular object? Regular object are those objects whose shape is defined, and we know the formula also to find its whose shape is a defined one. It's not that it is crooked, or it is not very easily to find the shape of that object. But here you can see that this is a shape of a triangle, and we have to find how to find area of this object using graph paper. So what we will do, either you place that object, suppose you have to find any object's area using graph paper, then you put that object on a graph paper. Hope all of you must have seen what a graph paper is. Then you draw the outline of that object. Then after drawing the outline of that object, here you can see that some blue cross and red cross are there. Now this blue cross, these are to cover those squares which are half or more than half. Here you can see that these are half or more than half, and that has been marked in by using this blue cross. Here also this is more than half, here also this is more than half, this is more than half, this is more than half. So all have been marked with blue cross. And then you also mark those square which are complete, like this red cross, these are complete. So we have mark this cross. Now the process how to find area of this regular object, we have to find the total number of cross. Now this shape can be any, you can take cross also, you can take tick also, there is no problem in that. So first you count the number of cross. Now here we have the formula. You have to first find the total number of squares with blue cross, total number of squares with red cross. So here we have, with blue cross we have 7, here you can see we have 7, and total number of square with red cross there are 4. So total squares which are covered with square, they are 11, and area of triangle will be total number of square into area of one square. So normally in a graph paper the area of one square is of 1 centimeter. Once it is of 1 centimeter square, so our formula will be total number of square into area of one square. So that is 11 into 1, so that is equal to 11 centimeter square. So this is how we will find out area of a regular object using graph paper. So this is all for today. The rest of the topics, that is we will learn about mass and all in the next class.